Yeah, I think I'm gonna like this dynamic, this thoughts in the dark type thing. So it's crazy. In my last video, I was talking about, realizing that if there is somebody there that is willing to be a provider towards me, that I need to feel protected and safe as well. And just reflecting on how I grew up in my father, and that dynamic, and how he was a provider, but he wasn't a protector. And so what's interesting is, I feel like when it comes to relationships, and again, I'm learning I'm not the best at relationships, but we don't take into consideration the need for men to feel safe either. And I was speaking about this person that I've been talking to, and how I don't feel safe with him providing, because of certain things that have happened. So certain things that have happened, the level of safety or trust is not there. And so it makes it harder for me to receive from him. So, but it's honestly, on the other foot, it's me too. I'm the problem. So one thing I have had a habit of is leaving. When things got too intense, I didn't know how to process. And this is something that I've done, in my 20s or whatever, 30s, 40s. And it's actually, I actually overcame it recently. And so I have this thing where when I get disappointed, it's hard for me to stay in contact with people. It's hard for me to interact with the person that disappointed me because it just hurts. And I haven't known how to process that disappointment. And especially, dealing with my daughter's father has changed me emotionally in so many ways, not necessarily for the best. But especially after having our daughter and interacting with him, attempting to co-parent, like a rage comes over me when there's the disappointment. And I think part of it is that I felt like I've given a lot, but I also understand part of that is people pleasing. And so with this specific person that I've been talking to, this has been off and on for years, and we would talk, and something might happen, and I'm just like, ugh. And a lot of it was, okay, he doesn't see me. He didn't choose me. I'm not worthy. I'm not enough. And at this point, those feelings, I'm not saying they don't exist, but they do not rule my thoughts like they used to. They don't have a place in my head or my heart. I feel a lot more secure about myself and self-aware and self-assured than I have in the past. And so now we actually had a little, I think I set up for a little spat, little thing where some words were exchanged, and some truths were exposed. And I was just like, so hurt. I'm the type of person, I feel like you can tell me anything, and the excuse that was given for not telling me is not valid, at least not to me. But what I also realized is that, or what I processed, not realized, what I processed is, how do I create a safe space for him, but that I also need a safe space for me, right? And I realized part of that safe space was that I've left in the past. Like, you're something happens, you're used to me leaving, and it gets radio silent. And so what happens when I leave is I have like this rage that takes over me, and I can't move past it. And I beat myself up. I become like this little child, and I feel shame, and all the bad things that you ever heard as a child come back up and beat you down just again, right? And I'm just like, this time around, I'm like, how do I get past this? Like, I don't know how to process these feelings. And what I did was I asked myself, like, what do you want? And this is somebody, regardless of if we're together or not, I want them to be in my life. They don't have to be my man. They can be an associate. They can be just somebody I'm able to call every once in a while and say, hey, how's life? I just don't want that shut down on that door where it's like, you did this to me and we can't speak there anymore. Because I do value them as a person. And so I asked what I wanted, and I'm like, I want them in my life. I know that for a fact. But I'm like, how do I do that? And I'm feeling this way. Because I feel like I have to protect myself when I shut down. Because I'm the disappointment. So then I asked myself, who do I want to be? Like, what does that look like? The person I want to be. And in order to be that person, I realized something has to change. I have to be uncomfortable, and I have to fight past the shutdown, which I get numb. I literally just shut it down. And it's so funny because I think it was 2 days, he had reached out, and I was just like, sir, I'm numb. I'm shut down. I don't want to talk. Like, stop. And then I realized, like, he is attempting, which I don't know if it says much, but whatever. And I'm like, what do you want to do? So then I went and I just said hi. And so I use the example, like, if you ever see a person that stutters, like, try to speak and get the word out, and they're like struggling, like physically struggling. That's what it felt like to just type hi. Like, I'm struggling. And I typed hi and I sent it. And I didn't say anything else. There was nothing else to say. And the person responded. And a few days went past and I said hi again. And I'm like, okay. But I started to feel better. And when I started to feel better because I realized I was doing this for me, because regardless of whatever type of relationship I'm in or who I'm with, it does not have to be this person. I want to be able to go to bed at the end of the night okay. I don't want to fight into the next morning. I don't want to wake up fighting. I don't want to go to bed fighting. I want to be okay. And a lot of the shutdown was from, yes, okay, the moment that whatever the other person did, but a lot of it was from my past and not being heard and not being seen. So I made a decision that I'm going to act in accordance with the type of person that I want to become. And this shit is hard. It is so hard. So, since our little spat, I've been checking in, and I even asked to, have a talk, but I don't know what they're going through. They might be going through something else, but that hasn't happened. And this is the same person from the last video. There is a reevaluation going on. Like, where do I see my life? What do I want? And where this person will be placed in my life. But I'm proud of me for being able to overcome that shutdown, because that was protection. That was me as a little child trying to make me as an adult feel safe. And I'm at a space now where I can tell that little girl, like, I'm okay, like, I got this. And that's huge for me. So going back though, me continuing to, just check in and say hi, it shows consistency, and hopefully it shows him like, okay, I'm still here. Because that's actually what I want, regardless of if we're dating or not. I want to be in this person's life. And I know a lot of people are like, well, it doesn't sound like he's the healthiest, but neither am I. Neither are you. We all have our shit. And the thing is, we have to decide at what level it can be accepted. If it can't be accepted at a relationship level, can it be accepted as an associate level or a friend level? Because we give different people more leeway. And can you accept somebody at that level without expecting more from them? And I think with this person, I can. So I'm definitely going back to working on things, and as far as being intentional about what I want, what is best for me, and following through with that in my actions, even if my actions are different than what they've been in the past. Because in order to get something, in order to get a different result, you gotta do something different. You can't keep doing the same thing. And I'm happy for me for that. I love that for me. Yeah.